Would you please join me in welcoming Mr. Michael Kyra, Town Manager. Mr. William McCalduff, Superintendent of Schools. Mrs. Joanne Benton, Assistant Superintendent of Schools. Mr. Kevin McHugh, Business Manager. Ms. Marcy Rizzo from Representative Maselli's office. School committee members, Mrs. Cushing, Mr. Higgins, and Mrs. Kane. I'm sorry, and Mrs. Duffy also. Mr. Eric Tracy, principal of the high school. Mr. Michael Nee, assistant principal. Mr. Steve Lynch, assistant principal. Faculty of Wilmington High School. Scholarship donors. Please welcome the class of 2006 honorees. Class advisors.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to our annual Academic Awards Scholarship Night this evening to recognize the efforts and the hard work of these young ladies and gentlemen before us. To open the evening, I would like to introduce the Wilmington High School Concert Choir, which will do the Star Spangled Banner. Mr. L.
Thank you. You may be seated. Every year we do a second piece that is a sort of a senior send-off for the candidates of the class. And this year, I wanted to explain the message of this piece because it is overtly religious in nature. It's a gospel piece. But the message of the piece communicates as such. You're all about to embark on a journey where you need to decide who or what you believe in. And whoever or whatever that is, you need to have faith in that and follow that with all of your heart. And we hope that you do that.
never fail to give us the chills. Amazing group, very talented. Mr. Luciano, I'd like to thank you. He little side note, he was on the road most of the day trying to get back here from a family emergency. He said, I will be there, don't worry. And he made it. He always has. Thank you, Jason. I'm going to move right into part one of the evening and giving out the scholarships. We will call out each of the presenters. They will come up and present the scholarships. The students will come up to receive the scholarships right at the podium. First one, the Access is Mandatory Scholarship, AIM, is being presented by me. The recipient of a $500 scholarship this evening is Nicole Groom. Presenting the Analog Devices, Inc. Scholarship, Mrs. Marlene Moran.
Hi, I just want to say congratulations to the class of 2006. Analog Devices is pleased to award two $1,000 scholarships for students interested in engineering, and the recipients are Erin McGee and Jonathan Kelly.
Presenting the Kay Barry Memorial Scholarship, Ms. Jennifer Hike.
Okay, thanks. Good evening. Congratulations to all of you, the 2006 graduating class. This is such an exciting time in your life, and as you head out in the real world, I wanted to give you a few pieces of advice. Do something with your life that fills you with satisfaction. Find the one thing that you're passionate about. If you embrace what makes you happy, it will bring out the best in you and everyone that you encounter. For example, look at the teachers that are here with you tonight, who are celebrating with you. They don't teach because of the money or the prestige. They teach because they love to. And they aren't here tonight because they have to be. They're here because they want to be, for you, because they're as proud of you as your own parents are. The teachers you see before you are passionate and dedicated to preparing you for life beyond these four walls. Kay Barry was one of those teachers. She taught in the Wilmington school system for over 40 years prior to succumbing to cancer back in early 2005. I'm here tonight to present a $2,000 scholarship in memory of Kay Barry to a student entering the field of education that embodies the same desire to succeed and inspire. So please join me in congratulating the 2006 recipient, Megan Coyne.
Next is a Joseph Biondo Scholarship, $500. We go to Jacqueline Moran. The next one's a Scott Brexiska Memorial Scholarship presented by Eric D. Brexiska.
I first of all just wanted to thank the Wilmington High School administration for inviting myself and my family now for the 22nd year to the convocation exercises to give out the Scott D. Brexiska Memorial Scholarship. That being said, Scott was a member of the class of 1982. He sat in the desks that you students sit in right now. Scott played baseball, played on the baseball fields right outside here. Scott ran track for Mr. Kelly, who was here tonight. Scott was also passionate, however, about the outdoors. He was passionate about hunting, fishing, and he emboldened the best in others. I'm proud tonight to, on behalf of my family, present two $500 scholarships in the name of my brother, Scott D. Brasiska, to Aldo Kyra and Deborah Ruker.
The John D. Brooks Scholarship, the amount of $1,000, is presented to Mr. Rick Fudge. Presenting the Kyra family in memory of Aldo A. Kyra Scholarship, I'd like to call Ms. Loretta Kyra and Michelle Hornerton. Sorry, Michelle. You're not doing it? Okay.
It's a pleasure to be with all of you this evening. On behalf of my family, I want to congratulate the class of 2006 on all of your accomplishments and wish you all the very best in the years ahead. I'm pleased to present the 4th Annual Kyra Family Scholarship Award in memory of my beloved husband, Aldo. Aldo was a great believer in the value of strong education. He was a wonderful family man and a respected community leader. We've had the opportunity to present a scholarship in my husband's name to 3 deserving young women over the past 3 years, and that has meant a great deal to me. This year's presentation is even more meaningful. Among the graduates are 2 young men whom Aldo and I love very much, my grandsons, Aldo III and Brian. Both of these boys brought much joy to their grandfather. I know my husband would believe that the next best thing to being here would be for these boys to accept a scholarship in his memory. Excuse me. I'm so proud to present the scholarships in their grandfather's name to Aldo and Brian Kyra.
Presenting 2 scholarships, both in the amount of $1,500. The Charles River Labs Scholarship. First recipient, Deborah Rooker. And Matthew Ruggiero. The Eric Cornish Scholarship, the amount of $400, to Michael Fay. Lawrence H. Cushing Jr. Scholarship, the amount of $500, to Nicole Fagusha. I'd like to call Mr. Lou Connolly to the podium, who will be presenting the Massachusetts Elks Scholarship and the Tewksbury-Wilmington Lodge of Elks 2070 Scholarship.
Thank you. On behalf of the membership of Tewksbury-Wilmington Lodge of Elks and the Massachusetts Elks Scholarship, Inc., I have a pleasant duty. Brittany Zolt. Brittany received the Tewksbury-Wilmington Lodge of Elks Scholarship in the amount of $1,000 and a grant from the Massachusetts Elks Scholarship, Inc., our major project, for $700. The young gentleman, Richard Hersom, Jr. Richard received the large scholarship in the amount of $1,000, received a legacy scholarship from the headquarters in Chicago for $1,000, and received a $900 grant from the Mass Elk Scholarship, Inc. Congratulations. Matthew Martin. Matt. Matthew received a legacy scholarship through headquarters in Chicago for the amount of $1,000. Received through the Elks National Foundation state allocated award in the amount of $800. Congratulations. The next gentleman is Ryan Oliveri. Ryan received an award from the Mass Elk Scholarship in the amount of $600. From the membership in the Mass Elk Scholarship, we extend our sincere wishes to the graduating class of 2006. Good luck.
I need that. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to call Mr. Richard Cutter to present the Cutter Family in Memory of Simon Cutter Scholarship.
I'm proud, very proud and honored to present two scholarships from the Cutter family in memory of my father, Simon Cutter. All of you outstanding and thoughtful graduates, ask yourself, what is my mission in life? That's a challenging and exciting question. And my father would say, continue your education in art, communication, engineering, business. My father, Simon Cutter, saw education as a tool to contribute good to society. And he enjoyed, while he lived and practiced law in Wilmington for over 60 years, he enjoyed seeing young people getting a good start in their chosen field. And my father would say, whatever you choose, learn to be poised, learn to express yourself well, and be capable of handling responsibility. This will help you be successful. And he would say, when you put your talents and abilities to use, benefiting the community, this will give you a feeling of accomplishment. And hopefully some of you will come back to the community of Wilmington. I know the Globe, I think recently has said it's one of the most desirable communities to live in. And thanks to administrators of the town that are doing a very good job. And Simon Cutter, he always used his skills as an attorney to reach out to the needy. And his life was fulfilled. And he would say to you that you should use your education and skills to reach out to people in the community, helping people for the good of the community. Communities are very important. I think we've lost sense of community somewhat these days. And hopefully, with your education, you'll come back to this community or work your way into other communities and help those communities. And while you're at college or postgraduate, you should always seek advice from your family and loved ones. Their experience will be invaluable to you. Myself, even as an experienced attorney, I always sought advice from my father, and usually it was very good. He gave very good guidance. And actually, your real fulfillment using your education and your skills that you will obtain will be in family bonds, spiritual values, and reaching out to help people. And in honor of my father, I'm presenting 2 scholarships. The first one to do it alphabetical order. Megan Coyne.
Can everybody hear this? It's working? Okay. No. I'd like to call Mr. Arthur Canavos and Rosanna DeCenzo to present the Fred DeCenzo Trust Scholarships.
Good evening, class. Can anybody hear me? Over 40 years ago, I was sitting in a seat just like you guys are. And I was saying, these speakers, I wish the heck they'd get off the podium so I could go to the party tonight, go tomorrow, the following day, and go to the Cape. You're laughing, but it's true, right? They have a saying, a page of history is worth volumes of logic. Just like you guys are sitting in the seats today with a war going on in Iraq and Afghanistan, we were sitting in the same seats faced with a war in Vietnam. Our mothers and fathers were faced with a war that was going on in World War II. And their mothers and fathers had a war before that in World War I. Well, where am I going with this? Things have a way of repeating themselves all the time. As a result, I feel that I just have to tell you a couple of words just to prepare yourselves for the future. The most important thing, education is very important, but the most important thing that I feel you have to have is integrity. It's very, very hard to tell the truth all the time. It's very, very difficult to do the right thing when you've got so many temptations in your life. And we all know what we're talking about when I say temptations. Having said that, I want to get on to what brought us here. Mr. DeCenzo, who passed away in 1986, was the hardest work I ever saw. The guy worked morning, day, noon, and night. Never gave up. He built a lot of buildings. We've taken it to the next step, and we built a lot of buildings. Along the way, our integrity was challenged by a company by the name of Bear Corporation, one of the top 2 polluters in the town. Now, the court case is over. Olin's still cleaning up, and Bear's still cleaning up, one way or the other. I find it difficult to believe that guys such as ourselves are here giving money to students. And we were the ones who were a aggrieved party. We were the ones who suffered. And yet, Olin and Bear are not here to help you people out. I find it difficult to believe that a company, Olin Corporation, $303 million in the bank in 2005. Now think of that. They pay their attorneys, they pay their environmental engineers, and they pay an awful lot of people to try to keep their names out of the newspaper. Yet they've affected each and every single one of us, regardless of the fact that you live near the polluted area or not. You've all been affected. Here's a question. Fellow comes in off the street, goes to the bank, takes out a handkerchief, puts it over his face, and says, "Stick him up at the bank." What is he called? Anybody, quick. He's a robber, right? Well, I ask you to think of this way. Hasn't Bear and Olin Corporation robbed all of you people of equity in your homes? Haven't they robbed you of the environment? The environment was clean before they got involved. Not anymore. And it's going to take my children's children and your children's children's children to clean up what they've done. So I'd love to be able to organize something somehow with either Michael Kyra or somebody else, whoever wants to get involved, to kind of knock on the door and say, "Hey guys, this is what you did. This has affected all of us. Why don't you help?" If we can help as the victims, don't you think they can with all that money? That's all I have to say about that. I like to have fun when I do this stuff. So if you haven't laughed at least once a day, you haven't lived. So we're going to have a trivia contest. I've done this the last couple of years. I got 5 $20 bills here. Now, this is the first time some of you guys will have a chance to earn $20 with your brains and not your brawn. So we're going to ask 5 questions. Rosanna here, my lovely assistant, is going to pick out the person who answers first. The administrators and the audience are not allowed. I know you need the 20, but trust me, this is more fun. Okay, here's a question. First one to answer gets 20 bucks. Where in the world would you be when you would be sailing west to go from the Pacific to the Atlantic? Tough question. Go ahead. You stuck your hand up. Don't be afraid. Nope. Nope. You got it. Now, you didn't want to get that by watching TV. You must have learned from one of the teachers, right? Yeah, one of those guys, yeah. It's a trick question because the Panama Canal goes like this. I know everybody's saying, how could that be? Okay. In what American battle did the United States suffer the most casualties ever? You pick them up. Stand up.
Stand up. What do you say?
I can't hear you. Stand up. Antietam, wrong. Yeah, how many people got killed? That's all right. You deserve the 20 anyway. I don't think anybody else knows. It's about 50,000. There you go. Okay. This is for the English majors, the guys who know literature and words and everything. Texas, and women too, I'm sorry. Texas Congressman Maury Maverick coined a term to describe meaningless government chatter. What is the word? Say again? Nope. Raise your hand when you think you know. Go ahead. Say again? Shout it out. We can't hear you.
You gotta stand up.
Filibustering, no. Nobody knows this one? Who's the head of the English department in this school? See? They know the answer. Go ahead. What's the answer? What is it? Nope. They don't know either. I picked a tough question. The answer is gobbledygook. Ah, now the kids say, oh, I remember that, yeah. All right. Let's see how this one. What great American writer, again we're going English, what great American writer took his name from the phrase meaning 2 fathoms deep? That's good. Come on up. All right, wise guy, what's his real name? Hey, this kid's all right. Wow, that was quick. Congratulations. I know. We got 2 more. All right. We'll give him, let's see. Okay, for those baseball fiends out there, name the 3 longest serving baseball players in the field for the Boston Red Sox in sequential order. In other words, who wore their uniform the longest as baseball players on the field? Who wants to take a stab at that? Shh. They're going to hear you. I know you know the answer. Anybody know? They got the 20 bucks. You want the $20? Go ahead. No, you didn't even get one. But they're good ball players. They're good ball players. All right, one guy, go ahead. Yastrzemski and Williams are 2. I'll give you the 20 bucks because you were the only one that answered those 2. The third, for those of you who are wondering, is the guy who played right field, number 24. Okay, guys, who was he? You got it. You got it. You got it. Dewey. Okay. I'm going to give you a religious question. I heard them singing Jesus back here, and it got me thinking. When Jesus Christ was crucified on the cross, he had 4 letters on the top of his head. What were the 4 letters, and what does it stand for in Latin? He answered first. This gentleman right here first. Stand up. Say again? No, that's Latin for when they were in Roman times. The Caesars had that behind them. Good. What does it stand for? Say again? Yeah, can you say it in Latin? Come on up. In Latin, for you Latin scholars, it's Jesus Nazarenium Rex Judeorum, Jesus of Nazareth, King of the Jews. All right, let's get on to some scholarship money here. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Okay, first scholarship I'd like to give to Caitlin Kaufman for $1,500. Next scholarship, Tom Mealy, $1,500. Now, Tom, you're not going to party with this money tonight, are you at all? You sure? I'm just checking it out, you know? Next one, Ashley Ricardo, $1,500. Congratulations. Deborah Rooker, $1,500. You're welcome. I hope I pronounced this properly. Alyssa Bibbo, $1,500. Is it Bibbo or Bibbo? Bibbo. Congratulations. Thank you. Sarah Terralaga, $1,500. You're welcome. Jennifer Mayo, $1,500. You're very welcome. We'd like to hear from all of you after your first year. See how you're doing. Adrienne Masiello, $1,500. You're welcome. Stephanie Parker, $2,000. Brian Kyra, $2,000. I've heard this name somewhere before. I don't know where. You're welcome. By the way, we don't pick out these scholarships. This is all done on a blind. They write their essays, and the administrators pick out the best ones. So I have no way of knowing who I'm giving the money out to. Amy Butters, $2,000. Dina Ferrante, $2,000. You're welcome, honey. And last but not least, Amanda Miles, $3,000. Do well at BC. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, and hopefully we can do it again next year.
I'd like to call Mr. Jack Ferrin to give the John J. and Helen I. Ferrin Memorial Scholarship.
That's a tough act to follow. 17 years ago, the John J. Ferrin Memorial Scholarship began with 28 golfers, one $500 award. 17 years later, we have awarded over $100,000 in memory of my dad. Thanks to golfers, the Burlington Police and the Burlington Fire Unions, and the sponsors. The recent loss of my mother is now my pleasure to present the first award in memory of Helen Ferrin to my niece, a true angel, Brittany Hannafin.
That's for her also.
In addition, our family had another loss, Jane Ferrin McLaughlin, a woman who had 9 children, put herself through college, and was a mayor in San Diego, California. My privilege to award this scholarship in memory of my dad's sister, Courtney Brown.
call Mrs. Joyce Beckwith, the Foreign Language Curriculum Team Leader, to give the Foreign Language Club scholarship.
The criteria for this scholarship is that the student must, one, be a member of the Foreign Language Club, and two, continue to study foreign language on the college level. This year's winner plans to major in law enforcement and continue with Spanish, which will definitely help him. Matt Robinson.
The John R. Gage Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $500 is presented to Michael Sorrentino. I'd like to call Mr. Kevin Harrington and I believe his daughter Ariana Harrington to give the Harrington Family Scholarship.
First of all, I want to thank everybody. It's a privilege to be here. My brothers send their apology. Normally they do this. They all have their own matters to attend to this particular time. And I do want you to know that I've tried all week long, and it is the hardest thing to find a tie to go with the custodial uniform. It's great to see these young men and women sitting here before me. I see them a lot of times passing in the hallways, and I had to go back out to the front of the school to make sure I was still at Wilmington High School, and I am. So congratulations to all you for being here. My parents were very big believers in education, which is why the scholarship in the Harrington name was started. My three older brothers all went to college. I chose to go to the military. They were all graduates of Wilmington High School. I was pulled out my sophomore year, moved to Andover, so I was a graduate of Andover High School, which is why my daughter Ariana, who was a graduate of Wilmington High School, will announce the name of this year's recipient.
Daniel Klein.
The amount of $500.
I'd like to call Mr. Stoddard Melhado and Jean and Jerry Irving to give the Kara Irving Memorial Scholarship.
The Kara Irving Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $1,500 is given in loving memory of Kara Lynn Irving, Wilmington High School, class of 1999, and a cherished friend of mine, dearly missed. Selected by the Kara Irving Foundation, the recipient of Kara's scholarship has demonstrated high academic achievement, wide community service, strong character development, and a true sense of giving of oneself, qualities that characterize Kara's 4 years at Wilmington High School.
First of all, congratulations to all of you. And this year, Kara's Award goes to Lauren Sartoris.
I'd like to call Mr. Dick Kaczynski Jr. to give the Frank and Mary Kaczynski Scholarship.
Hi, it's indeed a pleasure for me to make the presentation for the Frank and Mary Kaczynski Scholarship Fund. Normally I don't do this. Normally it's my brother Frank, but he deserves a rest. It's a pleasure for me to stand before you honorees It really is a true honor for me to stand before you. I graduated here at Wilmington High a few years ago. I was not an honoree. I was perhaps a late bloomer. I squeezed out of high school. I went into the military. I met the girl that was to become my wonderful wife, and after the military, she suggested I might want to go to college, and I said, well, gee, if I do that, I'll be 25 by the time I get out. And she said, well, how old would you be if you didn't, in 4 years if you don't go to college? I said, son of a gun, same thing. I said, you're terrific. Why don't I go to college and then we'll get married? And sure enough, we graduated on the very same day. We got married exactly 1 week later. We had 2 children. We lived happily ever after. And my children, went to college and beyond. Just like you folks are going to go to college and beyond. You don't have to go beyond, but you will because you're very driven, you excel, and you're going to find that 4 years will just not be enough. You have a quest for learning, you have a thirst to get more than 4 years, and you're going to want to do that. My 2 brothers asked me to please, I have a reputation for being loquacious, and they said, please, just say a few words. And I said, I can't do that. They said, well, why? And they said, why can't you say a few words? And I said, well, last month I went to Frank Kelly's track dedication, and he prefaced his remarks by saying, I'm only going to say a few words, and then he proceeded to reminisce for 29 minutes. And I don't think, and Mr. Kelly is never wrong, so a few words is not the terminology, so I'll just say I want to say a few, just a handful of words. And the other thing I do want to say is I am also honored to be among these contributors, presenters, and benefactors that without whom this whole process would not be possible. And if you folks don't realize, please look around at other towns. They do not have what we have. Wilmington is a community that has something that, I don't know what it is. It must be the chemistry that it's a combination of the town manager, the superintendent, the principals, the teachers, the student council, the department heads, the youth students, and everybody gets together. And if you look around, you look at other communities, you will not see businesses and organizations and individuals that come together and support their students the way we do. It's just absolutely amazing. And if you don't mind my doing this, please give yourselves a round of applause right now. Now, my father, Frank Kaczynski, passed away in the first quarter of this year. And normally we have an award of about $1,200, but because some additional contributions came in, the the deserving student will receive more than that. He'll receive $1,875. And that student, I hope I pronounced the last name correctly, but it's Anthony Karolakis. Please come up. Thank you.
I'd like to call Mr. Frank Kelly to give the Kelly Family Scholarship.
Let me say a few words. I got a timekeeper here on me. This scholarship is for $763. We have 2 scholarships. I don't pick them. They're picked by the faculty scholarship committee. First scholarship for $763 is for Jennifer Coma. second scholarship for $763 is to someone, he has initials, not his name, PJ. Thank you. One other thing. I was sitting here thinking a little bit mathematically, and if all the students in this graduating class contributed 2 cents a day for 25 years, you'd have over $25,000 to give out in scholarship for your 25th reunion. Think about it. Bye.
Once a math teacher, always a math teacher. I'd like to call Mr. Michael Kelly and Joseph Mayo to present the Richard J. Kelly Scholarship.
Good evening. I'm here tonight with my family to present the Richard J. Kelly Scholarship Award. Richard graduated from Wilmington High School in 1994, went on to receive his degree in criminal justice from Middlesex Community College. Rich was living out his dream of working in law enforcement. He was a loving and generous young man, and by awarding this scholarship tonight, it helps us keep his memory alive. I'm also joined by Joseph Mayo, last year's recipient of the scholarship. Joseph is currently working towards his criminal justice degree at Westfield State College. It gives me great pleasure to award this year's recipient, Crystal Bowden.
I'd like to call Mr. Robert Almeida to give the Sean P. Kerrigan Memorial Scholarship.
A little tall. I am privileged to represent the Kerrigan family in presenting the Sean Kerrigan Memorial Scholarship Award. Sean was a three-sport athlete here at Wilmington and my very first football captain back in 1996. This award represents all that Sean stood for during his playing days here at Wilmington. Athletic achievement, leadership, toughness, and above all else, sportsmanship. Sean Kerrigan will long be remembered for his heroic performance on Thanksgiving morning 1996, including a huge second half interception and a 50-yard touchdown run with 6.5 minutes remaining to give us a 14-3 lead, which we obviously should have won. Sean went on to have an outstanding career in baseball at UMass Lowell. This year's recipient will be attending UMass Lowell as well. He was our leading rusher for the past 2 seasons and racked up 17 touchdowns in his senior year alone. He too was a football captain and an all-Cape Ann League player. His junior year, he scored 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns in the championship game against North Andover, which sent us to the playoffs for the first time in many years. Most importantly, I believe he represented Wilmington, as Sean did, with class, leadership, and sportsmanship. This year's recipient of the Sean Kerrigan Memorial Scholarship is Zach Mayo.
I'd like to call Nicole Herring to present the Lowell 5-cent Savings Bank Scholarship.
On behalf of the Lowell 5-cent Savings Bank in Wilmington, I would like to present James Murray with a $1,000 scholarship.
I'd like to call Mr. John Lucci, give the Lucci Supermarket Scholarship.
Good evening. This year, Lucci Supermarket is proud to celebrate having served the community for its 50th year. With the help of of 6 members of the Wilmington High School class of 2006, we're having another successful year. Since the year 2000, with the inspiration from John Lucci Sr. and Anthony DeLuca, Lucci's has been presenting graduating employee scholarships, and we are pleased to offer them to these exceptional students. Brittany Hannafin, Christopher Crosby, Amy Lentini, Catherine Sharon, Catherine Chelly, and one to Brittany Collins, who isn't able to attend tonight.
A little shifting gears to part 2, moving on to the departmental awards this evening. The first presenter for the Visual Arts Department, Mrs. Marie Shack.
The art department has 3 areas of study: the drawing and painting, photography, and graphic design. So we have 3 awards tonight that I'm happy to present. For the graphic design, that she was selected by Jen Fiddler, who's our graphic design teacher and who I had the pleasure of going to Madrid and Paris with, is Deborah Rooker. For photography, who I also had as an art student and who is going on to study photography next year and who won an honorable mention in the Scholastic Art Awards, is Tanya Cardy. And for the fine art, somebody who we've seen grow and develop and become a wonderful artist and passionate about her art and is going on to Chicago as an art major is Caitlin Lynch.
Unfortunately, Mr. Luciana is heading back to Pennsylvania as we speak, so I will be presenting the Performing Arts Award. I know I can't do this justice, but I can say about both of these recipients, they are talented, they make you laugh, they make you cry, they're unbelievable singers, they have a great time, and they have a ton of passion. For the concert choir, Mr. Matthew King. for excellence in theater arts, Mr. Connor Maroney. To have Mr. Stephen Lynch come up, Assistant Principal, to present the Family and Consumer Sciences Awards.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to represent the Family and Consumer Science Department this evening, and it is also my pleasure to give the Academic Excellence Award to someone who gives it 110%, Ms. Caitlin Kaufman.
Mr. Michael Nee, Second Assistant Principal, will be giving the Technology Education Award.
It is my honor and privilege to represent the Technology Education Department and to award this certificate in academic excellence in architectural design to Timothy Collins.
Our Athletic Director, Mr. Ed Harrison, will be presenting the Health Dynamics Award.
For academic excellence in health and physical education, we have Alyssa Bebo and PJ Russo.
Bringing Mr. Nee back to present the Business Technology Awards.
This award is for academic excellence in business technology. This award to Philip Russo. Should have stayed up here, Philip.
Presenting the Foreign Language Award, Mrs. Joyce Beckwith.
We have 3 awards to give out tonight. The first is the Latin Award to a young man who is going to major in architecture, and maybe he'll build us a Coliseum, Rick Fudge. The next 2 awards represent 4 years of outstanding achievement and our department awards, voted by all of the members of the Foreign Language Department. For academic excellence in Spanish, Stephanie Parker. And in French, Tom Mealy.
Presenting the English Department Awards, Mrs. Kathy Simons.
Thank you. It is with great pleasure tonight that I announce the winner of the Top English Award for all the students. I'd like her to come up and I'd like her to stand beside me for a minute because I want to describe to you one of the national awards she's won. Stephanie Parker. Every year, English departments in the nation nominate 2 students to participate in a writing contest, and what happens is each student submits a sample of writing and then responds to a prompt in front of an instructor. There were over 65,000 students nominated across the United States, and Stephanie was one of 652 to win. So I think you'll be seeing her name in print in her writing somewhere in the future. Thank you.
Representing the Mathematics Department, Ms. Linda Peters.
Good evening. On the behalf of the Math Department, I'm very happy to present the Academic Excellence Award to Amanda Miles.
Representing the Social Studies Department, Mr. Brian Carr.
Good evening. This year I'm very pleased to be able to present the award for academic excellence in social studies to a young man who I had the pleasure to teach last year, Mr. Rick Fudge.
Representing the Science Department, our newest adjunct professor, Mr. Stoddard Melhado.
Who'd have thought science? On behalf of Mr. Megacy and the Science Department, it gives me a great deal of pleasure to award the Academic Excellence in Science to Stephanie Parker.
Moving on to part 3, returning to the scholarships. The Mass Bank Scholarship, the amount of $600, is presented to Miss Jessica Ham. The Massachusetts Association of School Committee Scholarship is presented to Miss Kimberly Gentile. The Massachusetts Secondary School Administrators Association Scholarship, which was actually a little twist this year. It happens to look for students who are involved and involved and involved and involved. This was very easy, asking around the building. Many people came up with the same answer. This is someone who's involved in the breast cancer ribbon sale, Yellow Ribbon Campaign, Red Cross Blood Drive, Medical Careers Night, Elementary Health Fair, number of bake sales, officer of the Medical Careers Club, chaired the Breast Cancer Awareness Week all 4 years here, job shadowed the Early Intervention Partnership Program, participated in the Susan B. Komen Race for Cure 4 years in a row, member of Bread and Roses, all 4 grades, Rotary Interact, all 4 grades, Peace, grades 10 through 12, member of the Students Against Destructive Decisions, grades 10 through 12, Foreign Language Club, member of the Student Council, and this goes on and on. I can just continue to read this, but this is a young lady who every single time I turned around, 7 in the morning, well, maybe 7:20, 6 at night, 9 at night, when we needed a volunteer, this young lady was here. This scholarship is the amount of $1,000 to Sarah Talaga. I'd like to call Susanna Rosopoulos for the McCune Scholarship Award.
Good evening. Congratulations to the seniors and to the teachers. It is because of your knowledge, your guidance, and support that these students have become graduates, so congratulations to you as well. I am pleased to represent Cummings Foundation at tonight's award ceremony. 2 students will each receive a $5,000 McEwen Scholarship Award as Most Outstanding All-Around Graduate. As you venture forth towards higher education, personal development, may you always strive for excellence in all that you do. Your strong dedication, admirable character, and drive to accomplish goals will serve you well. Enjoy life and make a difference. I'd like to present an award to Lauren McDonough.
Right on the back here.
Yep. And the second scholarship goes to Stephanie Parker.
Let's have Mrs. Cheryl Everett Mosca present the Anthony Mosca Memorial Scholarship.
Congratulations, everyone. You probably did this in 4 years, where Tony did. They liked him so much they kept him Billerica High for 5 years. I got to choose that Wilmington was where we'd have his scholarship, mainly because when I went home from kindergarten and talked to him, he got to know all of you as intimately as I did, and he would be very proud of all of you. He had a very difficult time. He went back to school when he was 30, so there's always time, and got his master's degree. He had multiple sclerosis and was confined to a wheelchair, but worked as a psychotherapist with parolees, probation, and addictive behaviors. He would be very proud that going into psychology are 2 former kindergarten students, Brittany Zolt and Katie Celli.
Now, Mrs. Norman Rushton and our school nurse, Mrs. Sue Rowe, will present the Norman Rushton Scholarship.
This evening, I have the honor of introducing the presenter of the Norman Rushton Scholarship to a member of our Medical Careers Club, who is a student who will be pursuing a career in nursing. The candidate for this scholarship not only must write an essay sharing her vision for pursuing a career in nursing, but she must reflect the qualities of caring, compassion, community service, and academic excellence. These are qualities that were displayed by Mrs. Rushton in her 29 years of service to the students and the staff of the Wilmington Public Schools. My friend and colleague, Mrs. Rushton.
Thank you for that introduction. I had the privilege of meeting all 4 candidates, and believe me, it was a very difficult decision for those making that decision. All 4 of them will be pursuing their education in nursing, and for that we're very, very proud. It is my honor and privilege to award this year's scholarship to Dina Ferrante.
The National Emblematic and Scholastic Scholarship, the amount of $300, goes to Kimberly Gentile. Mr. Brian Anderson, Sherilyn and Joseph O'Neill will be presenting the Justin Andrew O'Neill Scholarship.
Good evening. Before presenting the scholarship, I wanted to first just extend thanks to the community of Wilmington for their generous donations over the last couple of years, which have made this scholarship possible. It's through the generosity of the community that we're able to offer these scholarships and carry on the legacy of my cousin Justin. In presenting the scholarships, the O'Neill family aims to reward students and provide them with funding as contribution to further their education. And in doing so, are doing it in hoping that the folks that receive this award take on their further education with the enthusiasm that Justin would have had he had the opportunity. Presenting the first two awards, we'll be going to two individuals for their academic excellence and will serve as contributions to their further education. In the amount of $1,000, the first award goes to Brian Kyra. In the amount of $1,000 also to Ashley Ricardo. The third recipient was a close and special friend of Justin's, grew up just right next door. And it's an honor for the family to present to Jennifer Liston in the amount of $2,000 Justin Andrews Memorial Scholarship.
The Carl Olson Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $250 will go to Nicole Savoya. Mr. Bill Peabody will present the Grace and Bill Peabody Foundation Scholarship.
The Peabody Foundation Scholarship was created by my two sons in recognition of their grandmother and myself and our years of education. It is given to a student who is the son or daughter of an educator or a person who works in the educational staff. It is given with the knowledge that the sacrifice that you as parents are about to make over the next 4 years is tremendous. And the cost of education, in the hopes that this scholarship will allow the recipient to strive for a school that might have been an economic stretch for their family. This year's scholarship in the amount of $15,000 goes to Miss Amanda Miles.
Mr. Robert Peterson will present the Claire M. Peterson Memorial Scholarship.
First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Tracy and the high school staff for allowing me to be present at this award ceremony this evening. My mother passed away from breast cancer in September 1997. My father, my brothers, my sisters, and I decided to hold an annual golf tournament in her memory and award all of that money, which we raised, to scholarships. Over the past 7 years, we've been fortunate enough, through the generosity of our friends, to award over $50,000 in scholarships. This year is very special for me, as my own daughter will graduate from high school on Sunday as well, and has known many of you since grade school. I'd like to award my mother's scholarships in the following amounts this year to the following individuals. In the amount of $1,000 to Beth Ananian. In the amount of $2,000 to Sarah Tulaga. In the amount of $2,000 to Jennifer Mayo. And in the amount of $2,000 to Jacqueline Moran.
Ms. Vicky Giannakis will present the Reading Cooperative Bank Scholarship.
On behalf of Reading Cooperative Bank, in the amount of $500, I would like to give it to Kristen Breslin.
Ms. Marcy Rizzo will present for Representative James R. Maselli Scholarship.
Representative Maselli, he's sorry he can't make it this evening. He did have a prior commitment, but he'd like to extend his congratulations to all of you tonight. The James R. Maselli Scholarship tonight will be awarded to Richard Hersham. I'd like to read you a citation from Jim Maselli. Be it here known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Richard Hersham in recognition of receiving the Representative James R. Maselli Award Scholarship in the field of social studies. Your academic excellence demonstrates true promise for your future. May all your endeavors be successful. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Given the second day of June 2006, offered by Salvatore De Macy and your representative, Jim Maselli.
The Ring Family Scholarship in the amount of $250 will go to Erin Lloyd. Royal Dynasty Scholarship, there are two recipients, both for $1,000. Ms. Hillary Smith. The second is Mr. Michael Earls. The Barry Stolzel Memorial Scholarship, the amount of $200, goes to Kerry Velosa. Ms. Elaine Mistretta, presenting the Strings Attached Parent Support Inc. Scholarship.
It's an honor and a pleasure to be here tonight to present 3 $1,000 scholarships on the behalf of Strings Attached Parent Support Group to 3 talented students who are in the Strings Attached Orchestra. The first award is presented to Cynthia Estramera. The second scholarship to Stephanie Parker. And the third scholarship to Sam Oglesby.
The Textron Systems Scholarship, there are 2, in the amount of $750. First recipient, Kristen Hartka. And the second, we'll have to make him get up one more time, Samuel Oglesby. Mr. Michael Kyra will present the Town of Wilmington scholarships.
Thank you very much, Mr. Tracy. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here on behalf of the Town of Wilmington, but even more importantly, as so many of you are here, and much more proudly as a parent and somebody who has a pretty good knowledge of the accomplishments of all of these young people. They are to be congratulated and commended for the work that they have done here in Wilmington. And I know that they are representative of the wonderful school system that we have, and my congratulations as well to Mr. McAuliffe and all of the staff of the Wilmington School Department, and especially the faculty that you see here. And special congratulations, too, on behalf of the town to all of these folks. I can remember 39 years ago sitting outside waiting for this to end, because as a matter of fact they did it at that time. They did the scholarship awards the same time they did graduation. Some of you are nodding because you remember we didn't have as many, and I'm listening to these wonderful amounts thanks to the generosity. I did get one scholarship. I got $250 from the Democratic Town Committee, and I'm of course a registered Republican, but so if you're going to science and you decide a few years later that you want to switch to politics or to education, don't worry about it. It's gonna all work out. The importance of the scholarships that I'm about to award take on great significance because they are given by the residents and some business owners of the town of Wilmington. There's not really a major solicitation to this. It's thanks to the generosity of some of the people who are in this room, who I recognize from their constant donations, who simply respond when they get, of all things, a tax bill. The town of Wilmington sends them a tax bill, and not only do they pay their taxes, they send back a contribution to the scholarship fund. So this is the 11th year that we have been doing this. After we present the scholarships this evening, we will have presented to 87 deserving students a total of $57,000. Today we are presenting $8,000 to Wilmington students, and we still have $1,000 in addition that are going to 2 other students whose names I won't mention because I'm not quite sure that they know about it yet. But one is a student who is going to Lexington Christian Academy, and the other is a student who is going to the Shawsheen Tech, because these contributions are for Wilmington residents. The selection committee always has a difficult job. Fortunately, I'm not a part of that. But every dollar that comes in goes out in scholarships. The town absorbs all of the administrative costs through the
town manager's office, the treasurer's office, and through the school department. So I congratulate Mr. McAuliffe and the scholarship committee folks for making some wonderful, wonderful choices. There are 11 awards to be given out this evening, 13 total as I indicated, but the 11 this evening are to the following individuals. In the amount of $500, Sarah Tolaga. In the amount of $500, Lauren Sartoris. In the amount of $500, Stephanie Parker. In the amount of $500, Amanda Miles. It's a new experience for me, giving money as opposed to taking money through the taxes, legally, I mean. $500 to Jennifer Mayo. $500 to Alyssa Bebo. In the amount of $1,000, Nicholas Guston. In the amount of $1,000, Richard Fudge. Maybe instead of the Coliseum, Richard can build us a library. In the amount of $1,000, Anthony Karolekis. In the amount of $1,000, Adrian Marciello. And in the amount of $1,000, Thomas Mealy.
Thank you, Mr. Kara. The Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 2458 Scholarship in the amount of $300 is presented to Richard Hersom. Mr. Rick Aronofsky will present the Wilmington Community Television Scholarship.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all the 2006 recipients tonight. On behalf of WCTV's Executive Director Donna Gasick and the WCTV Scholarship Committee, we're pleased to announce that we have three $750 scholarships to award tonight. And the recipients are Kimberly Gentile, Connor Maroney, And last but not least, Kevin Robillard. Thank you.
Mr. Robert Peterson will present the Sylvia Weiner Memorial Scholarship.
On behalf of the Weiner family, it gives me great pleasure to award this year's Sylvia Weiner Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $1,000 to Daniel Klein.
Ms. Kate Bolin will present the Wilmington Band Parents and Friends Scholarship.
I'm very pleased and very honored to present 6 awards of $500 each to 6 very deserving young men and women who I will miss a lot in the next few years. John Cullen, not here. Ashlyn Hackert, David Russo, Kristen Breslin, Matthew Martin, and Matt Murphy.
Ms. Diana DiGregorio will present the Wilmington Community Fund Scholarship.
The Wilmington Community Fund was started in 1945. We help the Wilmington residents in need for fuel, assistance, food, and medical needs. We have 5 scholarships that we will be giving for $1,000. One of the students will be at the Shawshene Tech. The first one is for Alyssa Bebo for $1,000. Erin Lloyd. Megan Murphy. And Deborah Rooker.
The Wilmington Democratic Town Committee Scholarship, the amount of $500. I'm wondering if this might be a future Republican. To Aldo Kyra. I'd like to call Superintendent Mr. William McAuliffe. He'll present the top 10 students. These students will also be receiving the President's Education Award. This is a little bit different spin than we've done in the past. We had for many years the top 5 simple average, and we decided to go and recognize the top 10 students. It's quite an accomplishment over 4 years. Well, there's only 9 now. Kidding. So Mr. McAuliffe.
Thank you, Mr. Tracy, and good evening, everyone. I am pleased and proud to be here this evening. For the third year in a row, I am just awed by the level of support of our benefactors, and I would like to congratulate all of our award winners tonight. I'd also like to congratulate the parents of our award winners. It will really make a huge difference for you, I'm sure. One thing before we start with these awards, and not to be outdone, let's take a few minutes. I have 5 brand new, crisp $1 bills that... I'm just kidding. We would like to ask the top 10 recipients, when your name is called, to come up front and stay up front so we can get a picture of all of you at the same time. Okay, great. First recipient, Michael Sorrentino. Kimberly Gentile. Jessica Ham. Jennifer Mayo. Megan Coyne. Anthony Karolikas. Amanda Miles. Thomas Mealy. Stephanie Parker. And Richard Fudge. Congratulations to all of you.
My notes for this next scholarship are in somebody else's hands, so I'm going to wing this. This gentleman probably gave me my most exciting piece of mail I've received since I've been principal here at Wilmington High School. The National Merit Scholarship Program is a national program that starts out with about 1.3 million students across the nation based on their scores and other information that they supply to the National Merit Scholarship Corporation via their PSATs and NMSQT scores. The Scholarship Corporation whittles this down over a year through 50,000, down to 16,000, down to approximately 3,400, in which they give a number of multiples of scholarship. This year, a gentleman who had a perfect score of 800 in the verbal and a 720 in math received a $2,500 scholarship in the National Merit Scholarship Competition. I am very proud to present this to Mr. Richard Fudge. Presenting the University of Missouri at Rolla Scholarship, Mr. Stoddard Melhado.
For the past 8 years that Thomas and Joan Holmes Scholarship has afforded a tremendous opportunity for Wilmington High School seniors. Mr. Holmes, a graduate of WHS, has offered our seniors at least 2 full 4-year scholarships each year to the University of Missouri-Rolla, one of the top engineering schools in the nation. Each scholarship covers tuition, room, board, books, and related expenses, and over the 4-year period is worth about $100,000. The total benefits to Wilmington High School graduates over the span of the Thomas and Joan Holmes Scholarship now totals nearly $2 million. This year's recipients continue the tradition of sending outstanding graduates of Wilmington High School to UMR. On behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Holmes, I'm pleased to award the 2006 Thomas and Joan Holmes Scholarships to Sean Murphy and Ryan Truly.
Presenting the Florida Gulf Coast University Scholarship, another one of our guidance counselors, Ms. Maureen Lynch.
Good evening and congratulations to the class of 2006. That was a hard act to follow, Mr. Melhado, but I'm going to try. I'm pleased to announce the Ruth and Bert Holmes Scholarship. Following the lead of his older brother, the Ruth and Bert Holmes Scholarship, founded by Bert Holmes, a graduate of Wilmington High School, offers an opportunity for a student to attend Florida Gulf Coast University. This is the newest university in the Florida state system. The scholarship covers tuition, room, and books, and offers an excellent opportunity for the students of Wilmington High School. The value of the Ruth and Bert Holmes Scholarship is estimated to be over $15,000 annually. This year's recipient of the Ruth and Bert Holmes Scholarship is Lauren Brazel.
To present the Flag Award representing Representative James Maselli's office, Marcy Rizzo.
The James R. Maselli Flag Award goes to a high school senior that demonstrates impressive leadership both in their school and the local community. This student also has great potential to become a model citizen by exhibiting the qualities of taking initiative to help those around them and to have a strong work ethic. This year's recipient is a mature young lady that not only meets these criteria but exceeds it. This year's award is awarded to Adrian Marciello. Receiving the 2006 Flag Award, your dedication and hard work throughout your high school career, as well as your compassion and willingness to lend a helping hand to those in need, make you a role model to all the fellow citizens and those who will follow in your footsteps at Wilmington High. Since your freshman year, you have epitomized a strong, effective leader for your class and the school. The skills and knowledge you have gained in your time at Wilmington High School will help you guide along in your path in life. The entire membership of the House of Representatives extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. James Maselli. There's the dedication, and there's this.
Presenting the Paul Revere Bowl are our social studies teachers, Mr. Matthew Hackett.
Thank you, Mr. Tracy.
For the past 39 years, the faculty of Wilmington High School has awarded a silver Paul Revere Bowl to a graduating senior who has exemplified outstanding leadership, dedication, and service to class and school. Of all the awards presented this evening, it is the one that is given not from a particular department or discipline, but from the entire faculty as a group. The Paul Revere Bowl has historically been considered so distinguished that if a student does not receive an overwhelming majority of votes, then an award is not given. This year's recipient did indeed receive an overwhelming majority. To list all the accomplishments of this year's winner would take longer than Revere's famous ride. But beyond his impressive resume, tonight's recipient possesses the attitude of a winner, the dedication of a true leader, and character and class second to none. He has shown a willingness to help out anywhere, anytime, serving his class and school in ways that cannot be measured. In doing so, he has created a lasting impression on the Wilmington High School community. Not to mention, he also has a pretty decent jump shot. It is my pleasure to present the 2006 Paul Revere Bowl to Brian Kyra.
You say jump shot? Kidding, Brian. Presenting the West Point Scholarship, Lieutenant Colonel Bruce Dow.
Thank you. Mike, I wanted to ask if you could come up here while I present this. Well, thank you, and greetings from the Superintendent, Commandant, and Dean of the United States Military Academy. It gives me great pleasure to stand before you representing West Point. From the thousands of applicants annually that apply for admission to West Point, only approximately 10% are successful in attaining an appointment. We're here to recognize the efforts of Mike Sorrentino for his diligent work and aptitude in gaining admission to West Point. The monetary value of the West Point education, comprised of tuition, boarding, medical coverage, and salary — you do get a salary and you're going to be earning it — is approximately $350,000. On behalf of the West Point administration, we welcome you to the United States Military Academy Corps of Cadets, class of 2010, and our nation's long gray line.
Ms. Cindy Jones and Ms. Joan Kamel will present the Ann Field Scholarship.
Hi, my name is Joan Kamel, and I'm honored to be presenting the scholarship in the name of Ann Field. I had the distinct pleasure of working with Ann for over 20 years as an educational assistant in her kindergarten classes at the Woburn Street School, the Boutwell School, and the Wildwood School. Ann's dedication to her profession was easy to see in everything she did for her students. She clearly saw kindergarten as an important introduction to school for kids, and she worked hard to try to make their first year the right combination of learning and fun. Each year in June, we were both proud to see students graduating from Wilmington High that we had in our classroom 12 years ago, especially those going on to receive a college education. This year, I'm very proud to present a $1,000 scholarship in Miss Field's name to a student we had in 1994 at the Woburn Street School and who will be going on to college in the fall to major in education. Courtney Brown.
Ian Field was also an undergraduate of Wheelock College, which was one of her first loves. She also received 2 master's degrees from the same college, where she also stayed as an active member throughout her years. And I'm thrilled to give it to one of my former students, Jackie Stokes, $1,000.
The Wilmington Department of Elderly Services Scholarship, in the amount of $250, is presented to Caitlin Kaufman. The Wilmington Firefighters Local 1370 Scholarship. There are 2 scholarships, both in the amount of $500. The first one, Adrian Fisher. And the second to Lawrence Sartoris. I'd like to call Mr. Robert Semino to present the Wilmington Friendship Lodge Scholarship.
Hello, my name is Robert Semino, and I'm here to represent Freemasons Friendship Lodge of Wilmington. Freemasons are the largest and oldest organization in the world. The largest and fraternal organization in the world, with about 4 million members, and we can trace our roots back to the 14th century in Europe. The Masons represent a diverse group of men, with former members including 13 presidents, 8 signers of the Declaration of Independence, revolutionary figures Paul Revere, Benjamin Franklin, and 2 men who have walked on the moon. The organization does not have any religious or political affiliations. Instead, the Masonic goal is simple: take young men and make them better with bonds of friendship, compassion, and brotherly love. The Masons embrace men from all walks of life as they demonstrate good character and believe in a single supreme being. We welcome anyone interested to become part of our brotherhood. At the core of the Masonic belief is a dedication to community service as a way to better oneself. On the large scale, the Masons are the Shriners Children's Hospitals, the 32-degree Masonic Dyslexic Learning Centers, the National Heritage Museum, and the Grand Lodge CHIP, Children Identification Program. On a local level, we hold blood drives, offer free use of home medical equipment and wheelchair ramps, run our Angel program, and have the great honor to give out scholarships. This year, Friendship Lodge will be awarding 3 scholarships, 2, and the recipients being Megan Godding, Nicholas Gustin, and Amanda Miles. Thank you very much.
The Wilmington Garden Club Scholarship, in the amount of $500, is presented to Mary Worthington. Ms. Cheryl Hatchie and Jamie Vasallo will be presenting the Wilmington High School PAC Scholarship.
On behalf of the Parents Advisory Council, we'd like to congratulate all the members of the class of 2006, and we'd like to thank their parents of 4 years of support of the Parent Advisory Council. This year, we are pleased to award 6 scholarships, each in the amount of $400. It's our hope that each scholarship will cover the cost of 1 semester of books and 1 case of Orville Redenbacher popcorn. Our first scholarship is Catherine Shelley. Megan Murphy. Sean McPherson. Stephanie Parker. PJ Russo. And Debbie Rooker.
Mr. Rick Fudge will present the Wilmington Kiwanis Scholarships.
Bet you wish you brought your football cushions now. On behalf of the Wilmington Kiwanis, my pleasure to present the scholarships to the following students: Alyssa Bebo, Kimberly Gentile, Nick Gustin, Beth Ananian, Ms. Moran, someone I'm very proud of. I'm hoping while we're doing all this building, maybe we could do an indoor track. Rick Fudge.
Brian Pupa will present the Wilmington Police Association Scholarship and the Wilmington Police Union IBPO Local 318 Scholarship.
On behalf of the men and women of the Wilmington Police Department, we wish to congratulate the members of the graduating class of 2006. The Police Association scholarships are given away annually in the amount of $500 to students who are going to pursue their career in criminal justice. First award goes to Matthew Robinson. And Kathleen Strazieri. The Police Union awards 2 $2,000 scholarships annually. For this scholarship, we require the students to write an essay regarding their community, how they've led in their community, how they've contributed to their community. It's very refreshing every year when we read these scholarships. We get to see the best that the Wilmington High School has to offer. And this year, the recipients exhibited a great amount of leadership and commitment to their class, to their school, and to the community. So this year we'd like to congratulate Jennifer Mayo. also for $2,000, Sarah Talaga. Thank you.
Mr. Robert Jones will present the Pop Warner Scholarship.
On behalf of Wilmington Pop Warner, I'm here to award the scholarship to Michael Sorrentino.
Mr. Robert Peterson will present the Wilmington Rotary Scholarships.
Thank you, Mr. Tracy. Since 1987, the Wilmington Rotary Club has awarded over $250,000 in scholarships to Wilmington residents. This year, we'll award $15,000 in scholarships, 11 of which will be handed out this evening. First scholarship in the amount of $1,000 to Brian Kyra. Our second scholarship in the amount of $3,000 to Matthew Robinson. Our third scholarship in the amount of $3,000 to Stephanie Parker. Every time I've sat to my right all evening, and every time I've watched a certain young man get up, I've said to myself, you know what, he's just like his father. He's quiet, he's unassuming, he's shy. Our last scholarship in the amount of $4,000 to an outstanding student, and more importantly, an outstanding young man, Rick Fudge.
There are two Wilmington School Business Partnership scholarships. The first one is a student who is pursuing a career in education. Will go to Courtney Brown. These are both $500 each. The second, to the student who will be pursuing a career in business, is Jacqueline Moran. Mr. Brian Pupa will be presenting the Wilmington Sons of Italy scholarships.
Thank you again. It's my honor to represent the Wilmington Sons of Italy. The Sons of Italy continues to give back to the community annually. This year we've given away over $9,000 in scholarships, 3,000 of which will be going to graduating students of the class of 2006. This year is extra special in that two of the recipients are grandchildren of one of the founder members, Ms. Laura Kyra. The first one in the amount of $1,000 goes to Aldo Kyra. In the amount of $1,000, Mr. Brian Kyra. For $1,000, Mr. Stephen Tower.
Presenting the Wilmington Teachers Association Scholarship, the Wilmington Teachers Association President, Mr. Joseph Kloponis.
On behalf of the members of the Wilmington Teachers Association, I'm pleased to present this scholarship this evening to Courtney Brown.
Presenting the Wilmington Women's Club Scholarship, Ms. Sarah Cosman.
Thank you, Mr. Tracy. Good evening. Wilmington Women's Club extends their congratulations to the class of 2006 and to your parents. This year's recipient is a young lady who has been a member of the National Honor Society, Concert Choir, Medical Careers Club, Bread and Roses. She's been on the tennis team and field hockey. She received the Swim Instructor Award from the Boys and Girls Club of Woburn. She is attending Northeastern University this fall, majoring in physical therapy. It is our great pleasure to give our award of $500 to Ms. Lauren Sartoris.
Presenting the Wilmington Boosters Athletic Association Kevin Nolan Scholarship are Ms. Donna Crosby and Lisa Nichols.
Good evening. On behalf of the Wilmington Boosters, we'd like to congratulate the class of 2006. They've all worked very hard over the past 4 years trying to balance their sports with their academics and have done a great job. This year, the Boosters Club will be giving out 20 $500 scholarships to our deserving athletes. Good luck and best wishes to the class of 2006. Could you please hold your applause till the end so we get through them? The first award, Wilmington Boosters Athletic Associate, is to the Kevin Nolan Scholarship to Sean Murphy. Thanks. The Mary Do Lucy Scholarship Award goes to Amanda Nichols. The Frank Kelly Scholarship goes to Alex Chalmers. Okay. All right, here we go. Michael Sorrentino. Alyssa Bebo. Amy Butters. Jennifer Comer. Kimberly Gentile, Sean McPherson. Amanda Miles, and Matthew Robinson. Brian Kyra and Carla Ellis. Tony Karolikis and Thomas Mealy. Ashley Poirier, and a boy I'm very proud of, Chris Crosby. Megan Gording. Should have put his last. Matthew Martin, Alicia Murray, and PJ Russo. Congratulations, class of 2006.
Wilmington Youth Soccer Don Jones Scholarship, Mr. Paul Stebbins.
Each year, Wilmington Youth Soccer has the privilege of hosting all of your children on this soccer fields, watching them play against other communities. Our 4 recipients this year have distinguished themselves by not only excelling academically, but establishing themselves as leaders on the soccer field and in the community through volunteering with our outreach program and managing our referee programs. It's my privilege and honor to present the 4 scholarships in the $1,000 amount to Carlene Ellis, Alyssa Bibo, Brian Wilson, and Michael Earls.
Presenting the Lawrence H. Cushing Senior Scholarship, Mr. Jack Cushing.
Okay, this is an athletic award that was given in my father's name, and it exemplifies his 3 main characteristics, and that was not only athletic excellence, academic excellence, but sportsmanship. And this year here, again, we have 2 outstanding candidates, a male and a female. The female played soccer, basketball, and tennis, and is going on to Stonehill, Alyssa Bibo. Male is a athlete that was in cross country, basketball, and baseball, and he's going on to Providence, and that's Tom Mealy.
Presenting the Jack Wolf Scholarship, Ms. Rosie Wolf. And the family of Jack Wolf.
I'm here tonight with my daughters to present 2 scholarships in loving memory of Jack Wolf, a cherished husband and a devoted father. We present these scholarships to 2 students who possess certain qualities that Jack held in high regard: good sportsmanship, team spirit, and the tenacity to excel. The 2 recipients of the Jack Wolf Memorial Scholarships in the amounts of $1,000 each are Alicia Bibo and Sean Murphy.
Presenting the Richard Dick Scanlon Memorial Scholarship, Mr. Stephen Scanlon.
Congratulations to the class of 2006. On behalf of my family, we're going to be presenting $2,000 scholarships to a male and female student athlete. My father was a longtime teacher and coach here, and really enjoyed his time here. These awards are presented to the kind of player he would like. He liked the well-rounded player, the player that put the team ahead of themselves, and the good teammate. I think we got two real good recipients tonight. One is Alyssa Bebo. And our other one is Brian Kyra.
Presenting the Joseph Woods Memorial Scholarship, Mr. Mike Woods.
Thank you. Congratulations to class 2006. I was actually just going to hand these awards out, but I kind of got a little story, if you have a little time. I figured if the guy's going to hand out $20 bills, I can have time for a little story. So there we are, my brother, my cousin, and myself. We're in Ipswich, and it was a great night of basketball, exciting night. And this gentleman from Ipswich decided to state his displeasure in a player or a few individuals in the basketball team. So we, in turn, turned around and wanted him to know that we were not happy with him. Well, we turned around, and it's probably the three biggest heads he's ever seen. Turn around and look at him. And we kind of just let things roll. We got in the car, started to head home. And one of my little nephews was sitting there, and we're going, boy, that was a little weird, you know, what that happened and stuff. And one of my little nephews says to the three of us, he's kind of going, what would have Grampy done in that situation? We're like, boy, good thing Grampy wasn't there, because that guy would have really been in trouble. But anyways, let me get back to these scholarships. These are student athletes, and this year's female student athlete is Alicia Murray. And the male student athlete, Sean Murphy.
Presenting the Special Athletic Awards, to call our Athletic Director, Mr. Ed Harrison.
As I listened to a lot of the presenters up here, I was listening to our town manager, Mike Kyra, talk about graduating here 39 years ago and talking about this particular night and how it was part of graduation. I thought he was an awful lot older than I am, because I graduated here 37 years ago and started teaching here in '74 as a teacher coach, and doing a lot of these types of functions. You know, I used to jot down a lot of notes, just write them down so I wouldn't forget something that would be important. And as the years progressed, I'd type them, or maybe better yet, have someone type them for me. And then I noticed the font changing from maybe 8 to 10 to recently about 24, when you can put about 5 words on a page. So if you figure it out, 18 years old graduating 37 years ago, I am now a full-fledged senior citizen. So I believe it's okay to wear these. Ding Driscoll Award. Ding Driscoll was a teacher, a coach, and an assistant principal here at Wilmington High School. He's the man responsible for giving Wilmington its school colors of navy blue and white, and also our mascot, the Wildcat. The inscription reads, "For a senior with the most dedication to athletics at Wilmington High School. Our two recipients this year, Sean Murphy, Ashley Poria. Dr. Fagan Award is for our best athlete. For our female award, a 4-year, 3-sport athlete, soccer, basketball, and track, and also one of 2 recipients from Wilmington High School of the Women in Sports Award given by the MIAA, Alicia Murray. The male athlete, a 4-year, 2-sport athlete, football and basketball, 3-year Cape Ann League All-Star in both sports, Cape Ann League Player of the Year in both sports, Lowell Sun All-Star in both sports, Boston Globe, Boston Herald All-Scholastic in football the past 2 years. For the 2nd year in a row, basically our MVP, Dr. Fagan Award, Joe Herra. And now for a very special award, from the athletic department. It's the Wildcat Distinguished Service Award, usually given to a member of a community who has given their support and time on behalf of the student athletes here at Wilmington High School. This gentleman has given his unselfish support to Wilmington High School Athletic Department, offering his time and generosity to the baseball, football, and wrestling programs. This individual is a huge advocate for athletics, and more importantly, he is always willing to lend a helping hand. This year's recipient, the Wildcat Distinguished Service Award, goes to Ken Luongo. Ken just told me he hates me. Thank you.
I'd like to take a moment to thank a few people here who basically keep the ball rolling, oil the machine, and make this all work. My orders were to stay out of the way, so I did. But I forgot this last year, and I was embarrassed by this, and I want to make sure this happens. The two people that are the cog in the machine here and the motor that keeps this running and gets it all organized and gets everything in the proper order. Secretaries in the main office, Ms. Cindy Sukalis and Mrs. Mary Lou McManus. Thank you both very much. Thank you. This is how they get me to take them to Lee Chen in North Andover so we can eat, but as long as there's food involved, I'll go. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for this evening, but in speaking to the recipients, I ask you to think about something. I don't know if anybody's been keeping track, but tonight, university scholarships totaled $610,000. The monetary scholarships, which come from the community, all of the people here who put their beliefs, their hope, their desire, and their strength from their families and the community of Wilmington in all of you, and are looking for great things from you so that you can continue the tradition of supporting the town of Wilmington and the graduates of Wilmington and getting $176,000 on top of that 610. Thank you all. Thank you. So remember, I don't believe it's the money, and when I talk to these people, I believe the money only represents those little things, the hopes, the dreams, the desires, and all the things inside the hearts of the people in Wilmington and the people that represent the town of Wilmington. Keep that in mind as you move on and as you continue into your careers. I'd like to invite everybody this evening into the cafeteria after this to get some refreshments. I need the top 10 to come back up to the front for a quick picture. The first one may be a little bit too wide, so we want to just sort that out. But thank you all this evening. Thank you to all the contributors and presenters and benefactors. Thank you very much. Have a good evening.